camera.
positive.
How about them Giants? How about them Giants? How about them Giants?
Bam! What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush. What's up, people? Glad you're hanging out with us, checking us out. If you're new, pound it out. Welcome to the show. I am your host. I am King Rush, and I do apologize for all you folks that thought you were getting an interview today. We thought we were having an interview today, and we found out we had it was supposed to be Tyrone Tracy. We'd been working on it for about a week. And it turns out that they had someone misrepresenting Tyrone Tracy, stole a bunch of money, and no big deal. We'll move on. We'll take the high road. We pinged Tracy's management company, let them know that there was some people on Facebook and Google Chat representing his team. So we do not have Tyrone Tracy, but his management was cool, and our good friend of the show, Mike and McFadden, put a word in for us at practice today. So maybe we will get him after all. All right. So we don't have an interview, so we're just gonna roll with like some of the topics that are being talked about in the land of the Giants. But of course, what would Rush be without this?
It's good to be the king.
Always good to be the king. Interview or no interview. Let's bring in the guys.
Miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
Bonk. There you are.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Wow, what an interesting couple of days, huh? There was definitely fireworks.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Like,
unfortunate.
Interview, people misrepresenting people stealing
That's
money.
terrible.
And by the way,
Terrible.
yeah, not only is it terrible, but I think it's a bad look for like just the whole, environment of like player representation, that people are out there, and you could easily say, like, I've heard some people, in some of the chats are like, you guys must be really gullible. Like it's easy to misinterpret some of this information, right? There's a lot of information going back and forth, right? Look, you can do anything with AI. You can do anything you want with ChatGPT, any of the chat tools, right? You can open up Gmail addresses that are millionaire management, right? How many people fall for fake accounts, right, on Twitter
all the time,
right?
All the time.
Yeah.
And here's what I'll say. You know what? We owned it. Like, we didn't deny it. We didn't whatever. So we owned it. That's what happened. It happened to us, and we own it. And that's all you can do, man. You move on.
Yeah, we move on. But a good thing will come out of it. McFadden went to Tracy on our behalf to apologize, and also, of course, say, hey, look, you're good guys, and we told McFadden to tell Tracy, hey, look, we're looking out for him, right? We don't want anybody out there misrepresenting him, and his management got it. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Cole? What's up, Mark B? Good to see you guys in the house. Let's bring in Spartan. Spartan's hanging out. Spartan's always going to say something how we suck, because he's still 29. He's not 30 yet, so he's almost there. But once he's 30, he's gonna be like glass. He's just gonna be evened out. He's still got some ripples in him. Let's bring in Spartan.
This is Sparta!
Craig, that was a very whirlwinded way of saying happy birthday to Spartan. My God. No, listen, I will say this. I mean, when I started this show with you, Craig, I was 25. And now I'm 47 because the Giants have aged me so much in the last couple of years. So it has been tough. I will say, to your point about the fraud, it is getting worse and worse every year. These scams, the fraud attempts. I do work in the space, and I hear the horror stories that come out of it. And it unfortunately happens. And everyone just be careful out there, because there's all sorts of crap on social media above all. So
yeah, I mean, look.
You had a spoof account. Didn't you have that one spoof account made? The other Rush account, Craig?
Yeah. I mean, when we first started with Instagram, we lost the Instagram. The original Rush Instagram account, just somebody took it. like
We're going to get it back.
yeah, I never even got it back, right? So, you know, I feel bad because I had, and you know what, you know how we were all in. I had a video made, we were all ready to go, and then Chris called me and said, "Hey, you know, what do you think? They're gonna bring us Malik Neighbors," and I was like, something not right. So, but his management's on it. You know, we're on it. We hope maybe they, you know, he still might entertain coming to hang out with us. And I'm super pound out for Mike and McFadden, because McFadden I pinged on Instagram, and he literally said to me, "Hey, Craig, I don't have his phone number, but I'll see him at practice tomorrow, and I'll also tell him you're good dudes and that you guys were looking out for him." So yeah, we want everybody to know that if you see anything about Tyrone Tracy on Facebook or Google Chat, to stay away from it. And let's move on. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys. I want to start off with something that I can't quite figure out. So I need you guys to tell me which this is, right? It revolves, guys, around one specific topic that's an anomaly in itself, and that's Jalen Hyatt. Okay. A lot of conversation week in, week out. We're talking about Jalen Hyatt. Spartan, let's start with you. Is this just like he's just not good enough, but we want him to be good, or he's really good, but for some reason can't find a way to break through? Because I've never seen so much fascination with a third round draft pick that, I mean, he hasn't done anything, but the fan base is they're either defending him to the nth degree, Spartan, like they're like, no, or the opposite, they're like, dude, what a bust. Like, where are we, Spartan, in this whole thing?
So I think a couple things can be true. I mean, first of all, look, we've had insiders on the show that have kind of disclosed that information about him not knowing the playbook the last few years. And should that be the case, I mean, that's really concerning in terms of, you know, if you can't get that down, you're really not going to be able to go out there and ball out, right? So when we heard that piece of inside information, that was like the point where I took a step back and said, you know, maybe it's not a matter of he's just not getting activated by the quarterback situation, which I'll get to in a minute. But, you know, maybe he just doesn't have the mindset to be a good NFL player. And that was what was really concerning the last year. I hope that's not true. Well, I mean, it probably was the last couple of years, but I still have some hopes that he can go out there and ball out or be somewhat of a productive wide receiver in the mix for us. Where do I stand right now? I mean, look, I do think having Daniel Jones, your quarterback, the last couple of years was not going to help him. He was the victim of a bad quarterback room. I think Slayton was. I think all the receivers were. But at the same time, I mean, you know, we do have to keep in mind that, you know, his route tree is a little bit limited from what a lot of the critics say. So we got to couple that with the fact that he doesn't know the playbook or doesn't have it down yet, whereas he should be an expert at it. But I'll tell you what, though, on the good news is we've heard a lot of good stuff at camp about him getting used, about him catching touchdowns, about him being more involved and getting these balls because the quarterback situation is so much better. So to me, this is the last season of the trial and error of him. And if he doesn't get it together, then he's probably going to get cut at the end of the year.
Okay. Because I just, like you said, like, it just seems like a fascination showing. Like, we're constantly like, oh, like, and hey, look, you know, Mark, where's Mark B? Mark B says, you know, we love Mark B. He says, you know, don't sleep on him. Russ loves him. Like, does Russ love him, or is that just like, hey, we're bored, let's bang out an article from like, you know, from Schwartz or Dunleavy or Dugan, like just blowing that up? Like, how do we really know they love him? And then we're friendly with Dan and his partner, and then a couple of these other guys are like, we just think he belongs in the slot. We've been watching all his tape. This is what gets me. Where is Cole's comment a minute ago? I forget he's on the team half the time. Like, I mean, that is a valuable statement. People don't remember he's on the team. There's been no impact. So where are we in this love-hate thing, Sean, with Hyatt?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. The reason, let's not forget, he was a Biletnikoff Award winner in college at Tennessee in the SEC. He put up great numbers. He scored 5 touchdowns against Alabama. So the kid's got speed. So that's one. Number two, he's a 3rd-round draft pick, and we're expecting him to come in and be a 1st-round type draft pick
They moved
right
up
away.
for him, though.
It
Remember,
doesn't matter. They still drafted him in the 3rd round. Doesn't matter if they moved up for him. So year 1, he did pretty good. Year 2, he struggled a little bit. He showed some promise as a rookie, as a 3rd-round pick.
See, this is where
Now,
we need Zach, because I can't buy in that he did good in year 1. He didn't.
He showed promise in year 1. He made some nice plays in year 1. Year 2, he kind of fell off because we talked about this already previously. He struggled as a blocker. Plus, there's articles that have come out now. He kind of gave up, which is a bad indictment. I'm going to give him on that one, right? So he was frustrated. I'm sure he's frustrated with the quarterback not throwing him the ball. Now, to your other point about Russ loving him, that Mark B said, yeah, Russ has named him several times in the offseason, specifically has named him. The kid's got speed. He's doing some things. It looks like he bulked up again this year. So he was somebody who was going to take a little longer to develop. So I think the kid's got potential. This is year he has to do it. But again, I know they traded up for him, but he's a 3rd-round draft pick. Like, we're expecting him to come in and produce like a 1st or 2nd-round draft pick. And that's not what he was. He was going to take longer to develop. And people just don't want to have patience with somebody. So it's ridiculous.
I do want to be
ridiculous.
I want to be clear your definition of having
showed promise. Showed promise. Showed promise.
So in 2023, forgive me while I turn my head because I'm reading my other screen. He had 40 targets. Okay. So, that's less than the targeted game, of course, right?
As a rookie, 3rd-round rookie.
Right. Or no, I'm sorry. That's two targets a game.
Yeah.
He had 23 receptions. So he had basically, if you're going to, they played 17 games the last 2 years. So it's 17 games. So he 40 targets, 23 receptions. He had 373 yards.
Okay.
No touchdowns. Longest receiving one, he did have a 58-yarder.
Yep. That was in Arizona, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Right.
His average target, which is, again, he is catching some deeper balls at 9.3 yards.
There you go.
Like, it's not made up of any type of slants or bubble screens.
Nope.
Had one fumble. I don't know. And then last year he had 19 targets. So the targets were cut by 2/3, and
his playing time was cut down too.
Yeah, he had 8 receptions for 62 yards. So he flashed a little bit, quote unquote, freshman year, and then hit the sophomore slump.
Yeah, well, he wasn't a good blocker, and we all know that Daboll's focus last year was guys that could block. That's why Bellinger, he didn't play as much either. So he's got to step it up. He's got to step it up.
What's the fascination, Spartan? What's the fascination? Look, I'm throwing
Biletnikoff winner. He won the Biletnikoff Award.
That's what it is.
In the SEC. Yeah.
Look, I think for any of our top 3, like the first 3-round picks for the Giants of any given year, we kind of, if you probably don't expect Hall of Famer out of a 3rd-round pick. You would hope for it with the 1st pick, but the bread and butter of a team does have to be built using some of the early round players, not necessarily the 1st round. And so when you get a guy like Hyatt or JMS, the expectation is hopefully they can develop a new guy that solidifies and holds down the fort. Maybe can make a Pro Bowl on a given year or two. That's kind of the goal. And so, like, when they're not meeting that expectation, it can get a little bit frustrating. And I look at his rookie year, and the one thing I'll disagree with is, was it showing that much promise? To me, he probably would have had to have a year similar to Slayton's rookie year to be like, oh, this guy's showing promise. To me, it's just kind of like, it's showing that he can sometimes, very rarely, do something. And I'm hoping that he can break the mold this year, given the quarterback situation. But I am going to say 2 things. One, whoever it was in the comments had a really good point that I agree with. Russ wasn't going to go out there and say that, oh, Hyatt's a bust. If he's getting asked about Hyatt, he's got to say something nice or he's going to have the media on his case. The other thing I'm going to say, too, is look, let's take a receiver like Malik Neighbors, and the expectations were obviously different from Malik Neighbors, but, he can go out there and get 1,000 yards with the crappy quarterback situation. And then, Hyatt, I would have hoped that he could have gone out there and done a little bit better than 300 yards at best.
Yeah. Well, again, 3rd-round rookie. But I'll say this. Russell Wilson was not asked about Jalen Hyatt. He's proactively bringing him up without being asked about him. And he's done it several times. So I think he sees the speed. I think he sees the promise in the kid. But he's not being asked about him specifically. He's not saying, yeah, he's good. He's just mentioning his name without being prompted to ask about it. So that's something that I think Russ sees some potential in him, and that's why he's bringing it up. Now, whether he lives up to it, I don't know, but I do think we got to cut him some slack. He's a 3rd-round pick. Again, he's a 3rd-round pick. We're expecting him to produce as a 1st-rounder. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we expect him to produce like that as a 3rd-rounder. And this is not love or hate. Like, I had my issues with Hyatt, so I get it. Like, yeah. I need him to be better. But the expectation for him being a 3rd-rounder, I don't know. I don't understand it. It blows my mind. We knew, you should have known it was going to take him longer to develop because he didn't have the complete route tree down. So, and he was playing with an ass quarterback. So there you go.
But I agree. Maybe a wide receiver 1, like that would have been pretty lofty expectation for a 3rd-round pick. But, a wide receiver 2, though, I mean, I feel like they generally fall in that pack sometimes, not always. And there's a wide degree of why wide receivers bust out in the NFL because of how much whatever they're doing in college even translates to the NFL. But I feel like a reasonable expectation for Hyatt was to be a little bit better than like what Slayton even is for us. That's kind of what I hoped.
I like what Drew says here. You hope for, at least a touchdown, right? In 2 years for a 3rd-round pick. So the development has not taken off. I do get it's a 3rd-round pick. But, and I also, the other side of the table is this, listen, it's Russ's first year. He wants everybody to like him. He wants to gel with everybody. He doesn't know how, he hasn't played with any of these guys, right? He hasn't gone to war with them yet. So he's not going to alienate anybody, right? So he wants to try to give everybody as much opportunity as possible. I just was wondering what you guys thought on the fascination. Definitely some fascination on the Blitnikoff.
Well, definitely hope that he balls at him. I would love it. But yeah, there's guys I have confidence in. He's not on that list, unfortunately.
Here again, me and Cold are on the same page. This is the same thing. This is kind of what I'm leaning on. Like it's okay that we don't have to make up a reason why he's where he is, right? He might not just be not good enough. He hasn't risen at all in fact, he's gone the opposite way. Like some guys, it's the system, some guys it's the quarterback, sometimes it's a combination of both. But this will be it this year for him. Like if
we'll find out this year what he is.
Yeah.
That's what I said. We'll find out this year what he is.
Yes. If you can't figure out what he is, I think a lot of it has to do with body language and attitude too.
Yes.
Like it's not good. You've heard me tell the story about him walking through the defense against the Commanders. Spartans already just alluded to that. There's a lot of chatter out there about him not knowing the playbook, right? We all want him to succeed. He's a giant. We want to root for him, right? 3rd-round pick would be a whole lot easier if he was balling out, right? So this is it. He's not going to get a whole lot of room this year to make mistakes, but he'll get opportunity, especially as Mark B said. If Russ likes him, Russ is going to want him on the field for a period of time. He just has to really put it together and become a pro one way or another. I don't care if he's in a slot or he's outside. I don't care where they line him up.
Yeah. But if he doesn't, he's a 3rd-round pick. There's a lot of 3rd-round picks that don't make it in the NFL. Like the percentage is staggering how many don't make it in the NFL. And I think people don't realize that either.
Yeah. And by the way, I want to throw this up here from Craig. It's not actually me. Top wide receivers in football don't get drafted in the 3rd round. That's simple, but he has to work on his craft. He's not Malik Neighbors. That's very true. There's a big difference between a 1st-round wide receiver and a 3rd-round wide receiver. He hadn't had the quarterback play. He's got a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of body language, bad attitude thing. All those things can be squared away if somebody believes in him, right? So Russ may believe in him, as Mark B mentioned a little bit. So, you know,
And
like
a lot of reports suggest he's a different Hyatt this year as far as like attitude, so that could help him as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
That'd be a
said,
huge
you know,
step.
I think there's an opportunity. Russ is going to give everybody the opportunity, right? And he's put on some bulk, right? They said that a couple of reports were that he looked a little bit thicker.
Yep.
And again, I don't get the fascination with the guy, but you know, he's either one or the other. He's either going to make or break it this year, right? Because there's not going to be a lot of room. The Giants will be looking for another another receiver shortly if he's not the guy. We all want him to be the guy, right?
I mean,
like
he's
said, I'm
fast.
looking at,
Deshaun Jackson made a career out of running deep. So if they can give him the ball, run him deep, like use him like that. That's all. I mean, that's fine. You just got to have a quarterback that's going to throw him the ball, and we didn't really have that last year.
Deshaun had so much sideways speed, though. That was the one thing, like when he launched his body of work, that I just don't feel like Hyatt has.
Yeah, that's a great point, Spartan. Deshaun Jackson could run by you. He had a second gear, you know what I mean? And when the ball was up there, he caught it. Like, we haven't seen like some second gear out of Hyatt, you know, and whether it's there or not. Again, maybe and I think Craig mentioned it a couple minutes ago, you know, whether he's working on his craft, learning to run the routes at different speeds. All we can hope for is that, or actually, no, not even that. What do we know now? We know Russ supposedly likes him. We know he's been in the weight room and he's gotten bigger. We would expect him to know the playbook more than he ever has. And we know he's going to get an opportunity this year in the short term. The other side of the coin is he has shown crappy body language and has been known not to know the playbook. And he's been known to have a little bit of dropsies. And, you know, maybe it's something else is going on that we don't know about behind the scenes. Either way, you know, let's just hope he figures it out, right? Could be a confidence thing. Confidence goes a real long way. It just does, you know.
And Russ can show him some tips too that can help him improve as a wide receiver, and that's what he didn't have for his first 2 years too. Again, he's fast, and you want to see guys with fast do some things because you can't coach speed. So,
This is and you know what? This is what makes a guy make a team and not make the team. By the way, where's Craig's point? And he needs to learn how to block. Here's the thing: Amani Toomer, Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks, not as much as Hakeem, but Victor Cruz.
Shepard,
Mario Manningham. They were all good blocking wide receivers. You know, Slayton, like they're good downfield blocking receivers. They just are. You know, we don't see a lot of that right now. So, you know, and I'll throw this up here. Yeah, Mark, we'll totally give you credit for it. 13 was surprised. A lot of people here, you know, this year hear it. So yeah, I'm cool with that, man. Hope it works out. You know, for Hyatt, you know, hate to lose a third round pick because he just doesn't flip it. A couple more shout outs to guys that are piling in the room here because you guys this all of a sudden just loaded in. What's up, Mark B? And of course, I see Drew's in the room. Scrolling through. Tim's in the room from Online Big Blue. We got Craig. We got James. We got Brad, my Giant, I was gonna say Giant Stadium, but my MetLife partner there, like he's always sitting, you know, row behind me with the fam. I see Michael Coughlin, maybe related to Tom Coughlin or Carter Coughlin, could be. And a bunch of you guys again are piling in, so thanks for hanging out. All right, guys, let's talk about this. And Joker sent me this link, so I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. Big time. Guys, and I'll start with you on this one, Sean. Big time vibe change, just new vibes. This team has a different vibe. Definitely on the defensive side because of, you know, the Adebo, Holland, Carter thing, right? and a couple of young guys that they drafted. But the offense has got some kind of swag going now. Dart's got some swag. Wilson's got some swag. Scadaboo's got some swag. Tracy already had some swag, right? So all of a sudden, like, this team feels a little bit better. Not better is not even the right word. Just feels more like a team, right? They feel a little bit more together. So tell me a little bit what you're seeing and hearing, showing like what your feel is like. Does it feel like more camaraderie this year or some kind of gelling?
Yeah, I think it's gelling. I mean, Russ knows what to do. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He knows how to bring guys together. And you got some young guys in this receiving core and on the offense that he's showing them the way to be. And I think this team is excited. That I've said a few times now that black cloud has been lifted over this team with our former quarterback gone. And I think guys are realizing that this is what a quarterback looks like. This is what a quarterback is supposed to do. And they're excited that they have a quarterback that can lead them. They can hit him in stride, throws a catchable ball. Again, because that is something that has been overlooked by fans for a very long time. And if you saw some of the videos coming out today, Russ was hitting guys in stride. Even Slayton made a hands catch today. Like hands in proper placement, hand catch. So again, I know it's OTAs, so you can't make too much in it. But if you're looking at mechanics and fundamentals, that's what you want to look at in these videos. So I think the vibe that Russell's bringing is something that they haven't had here in years, and I think it's good. He gets these guys gelling. He gets these guys feeling happy. They're confident, and I think they're excited to actually have this level of quarterback, even if he's a top 18 quarterback, let's say. That is still head and shoulders better than what they had. And the guy knows how to win, what to do, how to prepare, how to get these guys ready. And I think these young guys are excited about being led by a veteran quarterback.
Let me show you guys what this looked like. What we're talking about is the Russell Wilson and a lot of the guys went out for dinner and took this picture.
Yeah. When's the last time you seen a Giants offense look happy?
Yeah. So it's like it's interesting. I'm trying to see if I can pull
Jones
it up.
looked happy when he signed the dotted line, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Jones, when he signed his $1 trillion contract. That was the last time I saw a Giants offensive player happy.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I can just add in the photo itself and then pull it over, because it's very cool to see, what's happening. You can see it there in the background, like, it's Illuminor and Thomas and Dart and Scadaboo and Singletary. I see Tracy in there. I see Jameis in there. Like, there's a lot of dudes in there all hanging out, which you don't normally see. Spartan, what kind of vibe are you getting here?
Well, I mean, the thing that I love to see here is that you got the vets playing with the younger dude, or going out with the younger guys, and that doesn't always happen, right? So that to me is probably the most critical. But the one thing that I'm going to commend the Giants for is, and we've had bad years. We have had bad years where it didn't quite feel like the team as a culture, as a whole, like, got over the vibes of that season right away. Like, you didn't sense it during the offseason. Like 2017 bottomed out. I don't remember any vibes looking upwards that offseason. What else do we crap out? 2019 at the Shermers last year, kind of the same thing. Like, we're going the next year and, the vibes don't lift. But, like, you could feel already that everyone's forgotten about last year and it's a new year. And that started when they got Russell Wilson to have the veteran quarterback leadership, which gets the current players excited, but also getting a rookie quarterback for the future so that everybody there kind of feels like in the long run, they're a part of a program, not just a team.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So there's the whole team, guys. That, not the whole team, but, a bunch of young dudes hanging out.
Main characters.
Yeah, I left a couple guys out in the background. GVR's in the back there. Michael Schmidt is in the background there. I see Dart Scadaboo. I think that might be Holland in the front next to Singletary. And then There's someone in the back I can't see. Maybe it's it's got their maybe Runyon. Maybe the face is kind of cut off, but I can see Illuminor, Jameis, Thomas, and Russ. So it's just cool to see these guys, all hanging out, all doing stuff together, because I'm not really sure they were, that was what they were known for, right?
Right.
Yeah. Listen, I want to clear something up because I see some things in the comments. I'm going to address it, but listen, you got to get excited over something. But what's nice is we're excited that something different is happening. Now, whether or not it translates to wins on the field, that's a different story. We know that has to translate to wins on the field, but this is what should happen with the team. This is what it should look like. So it's good to see our quarterback, our leader, doing the things that should be done to bring this team together. And hopefully that will translate to wins. And it's been shit for the last 6+ years. So yeah, we want to be a little excited about something. We want to be excited that we have a quarterback that's doing things the right way. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because Joker's going to rant tonight. Let me just tell you right now. Joker will rant tonight.
I mean, like, let's just call it what it is. I mean, like, if you ever been in a locker room before, these guys all like go their own separate ways, right? They all got, things they do. I mean, for these guys to get together, it just shows you that there's other things happening here. They like hanging out with these dudes. I mean, like, we've talked to plenty of them where they look. I told you, I just talked to McFadden. He didn't even have Tyrone Tracy's, phone number to say, hey, the Rush guys want to let you know that there's somebody, misrepresenting you out there. Like, a lot of these guys, they're, defense one side of the locker room, offense on the other side, and you have little, micro groups amongst them. All we're saying is like it just feels good to see the young guys jumping feet first in to the organization, and seeing a veteran like, listen, let's just call a spade a spade. Anyone who doesn't like Russell Wilson says he's weird, he's aloof, he's going to be different, he's going to ostracize himself, he's going to be way over here because he thinks he's a superstar. That's not what's happening. Yeah. Like, it's just showing you, like, these guys are hanging, they're getting to know each other, and the best teams, in the NFL know each other.
Right. They have they're tight knit.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. No offense, Drew. I love your work, but I don't know why that's sad, dude. And you know what? I just don't know why it's sad. And having played for a pretty good, college football team, whether it was D3 or not, like, the reason why we lost in the semifinal game was we spent 4 or 7 nights hanging out together. You know what I mean? Like, the defense just knew everybody. Everybody knew each other, Yes, did Wayne Corbett come out and kick our butts? Yes, they did at Hofstra. But, I'm just saying, I do believe in stuff like that. I do believe if Spartan Mike comes to town and he's having karaoke with his family, I drive to PA to sit down and meet his folks.
It was trivia night, but regardless.
It's right. It wasn't karaoke. It was trivia night. Yeah. Like, so, Joker comes to town. I make sure I track him down in the parking lot to hang out with him, because there's something. It's not called football individuals. It's called a football team, and you make a team by when people work together. So I don't know, man. I can't vibe with the that it's sad. I think it's completely opposite. So whether that, Joker just said it, whether that converts to wins, I don't know. But I would rather be talking about, hey, man, this is cool. These guys are hanging out together, getting to know each other. When you got each other's back, you go a little bit further. So,
and we haven't seen it. That's the other thing. It's not, again, it's nice to see it being run the way things should be run. Things should be happening the way they should be happening, and that hasn't seen. So it's progress. It's a start, and that's what you want to be excited about.
Yeah, man, rock and roll. Plenty of you guys have worked played sports in high school and college. Maybe you run a team at work, like, you spend team building exercises. You spend your lunches and dinner. You go golfing, right, with clients. So, most of the stuff that you guys are talking about, it's just crap because you guys want to win a Super Bowl and you don't care about the process. That's all. All right, let's keep moving. Let's talk about there was some conversations last week about kickers. If that Gano was going to just wrap it up and just bring him in and Gano gets the job, Sean, or is this an open competition? Because there has been some conversation that there was going to be open comp.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if McNamee gives them any competition. I think they should, but again, I don't know if they will or won't. We'll see if they bring somebody in to camp to push him. Hopefully, he's somebody that can stay in, stay healthy this year, because we may not have to use him as much because we'll have an offense that can score touchdowns instead of trying to kick long field goals. So maybe that'll help him. But I would like to see McNamee see what he can do. He's been there a couple years now. He's got a really strong leg. So let's see if they have a true competition or they bring somebody else in, which, I don't know who's out there to bring in, but yeah, I mean, competition is good. We talk about it all the time, right? There needs to be competition. There's more competition this year in other positions, both sides of the ball. Well, okay, let's get some competition for the kicker.
Yeah. I like, he's definitely, a loyal Giant, but
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta, it's good to bring some guys in Spartan, at least give him some competition. I don't know if it's McEnany, right? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, McNamee.
I don't know if he's the guy or not. Spartan, is it worth having Gano to have some competition here?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think the reason being is because we're at the point now. I mean, he played 8 games in 2023. He went 11 of 17. Given the fact that he got hurt that year, he got hurt the next year, are we super confident that Gano can return to his former self? And quite frankly, I don't think the Giants should feel that comfortable with the idea of it. When Dunleavy came on the show and he alluded to it, that if the Giants fall victim to a trap, it might be this, the idea that Gano will be perfectly fine when they run out there. I think the best thing to do is run with the competition they have now. If they don't really like either of them, see what's out there in terms of kickers. Look, there is one perk here, and I haven't checked which, rookie kickers left the room, but see if there's any available. Remember, there's only 32 starting roles. A lot of good kickers go kind of unturned given that. So they need to bring another rookie. I mean, maybe go that route because it'd probably be a little tougher to find a completely 100% available free agent kicker that is proven at this point.
Throwing this up here, James said, we're going to be better, but our schedule is like trying to beat like Contra without a partner. I mean, yeah, man, I get it. We do get it. Like, that the Giants could be 2-6 to start the year, right? It's going to take a little while to get these guys flowing. And like I said, if you think about last year, Gano wasn't there, right? Gano gets hurt. We lost 2 games because of the kicker. So bringing in some competition is important. We lost 4 games because of bad QB play, and we lost 8 games by 1 touchdown or less.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're as good as last year or they're worse last year. No one knows yet. But on paper, there's at least depth and there's more talent in the.
Well, I really hope they're not worse than last year.
Yeah, but again, Mike, like they were bad last year, but again,
Right.
just some of you guys care about this stuff, some of you guys don't. But think about it, Mike. 8 games they lost by 1 touchdown or less. 8 games.
Right.
So like that means they hung in there with those teams, and then your kicker loses 2 games to Buffalo and the Jets, and your quarterback just craps the bed on a minimum of 4 games. Again, they're not as talented, but let's just take half of those games. 4 games, they lost 8 by 1 touchdown. They had better quarterback play, or Gano was healthy, or Gano was doing his job. You're a minimum 5 wins,
Right.
6 wins again. So. There's just better talent in the building. They just got to figure out how to put it together. If they can't put it together, it won't matter because those guys won't be here. But Dable and Shane are getting another year because Dart's here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I like Gano. I think Gano could get the job done. Off the top of your head, Spartan, how many kicks, even if we take last year out, we look at 23. How many kicks did Gano have that were more than 50 yards?
It was actually a lot. I think because he
more
went
than
11
50.
for 17, but I think it was 4 of the 5, if I'm not mistaken.
So wait, so he had 5 kicks over 50 yards in 2023?
5 attempts, and he saw like 4 of them. So that's actually pretty good. But then it does make you think like, all right, well, how are you missing the 30-yard, the 40-yarders? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, you're talking 23 though, not 24.
23.
All right. Well, again, 23, he was a decent kicker. Like, I mean,
Right.
like it was just that, like, he'd got hurt on that kickoff run. He came back too early. I don't know. I think competition's always good
Agreed.
at the end of the day. And I think, and of course, wins the job when he comes back. I'm hoping the defense is able to get off the field on third down, give the offense better field position. So I'm not overly worried about Gano hitting 50 yarders.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked a little bit about Hyatt. We talked about Russ. We talked about, our Tyrone Tracy interview that went belly up. We're going to try to get you. We're going to try to get you, Tracy, and we're trying to pull out some other ones. So Rob says, Rob's got a good take. Let's put Rob's point up. I'm not scared to schedule anything can happen. I truly believe Russ has a monster year with Dable and our talent. Sky's the limit. You know what, Rob? I said this before. Not everybody agrees with me. I don't think he came here to play 6 games. I think he came in, I think he had a pen in hand and a paper, and he just said with his agent and said, look, I know you're going to draft the quarterback, but I'm not coming here if you're planning on benching me in six games, 8 games. And if I win 8 games, Rob, I want a new contract. Like, I can see Russ coming back next year. Now, next year would be an open competition between him and Dart. But I can see Russ coming back if they win 8 games. And I am a little, listen, Rob, you're a braver man than Joker and Spartan and I. Everyone's a little bit worried about that schedule, but I think the team gets better as it goes. And yes, Brad, you're 100% right. That's been Sean's point now for a year, that Brasillo year 2 will make a big difference, because he's Joker's all about the line coach. So, and he makes a lot of good points. All right. Let's talk about one subject that's a little bit sensitive, guys. Everybody, tell me if you have a player, Spartan. Is there a bubble player this year that, like, you're worried about getting cut or that you want to get cut? Is there a guy that's on the bubble that you just think should or shouldn't be here?
Should or shouldn't be here?
Yeah, like, is there a guy that you're like, man, there's a guy that's just got to go? Or if there's, like, who's on the bubble? Who's going to get cut, Spartan? Who's on the bubble?
I'm afraid Bellinger gets cut.
Okay, so I'm writing this down. Bellinger's your guy for Spartan. All right. And that's just because you think that the new draft pick, Fiore and Theo, can hold it down?
I think that might be the direction they're going to go with, just given that he's been given 3 seasons. And look, I don't have full confidence that the Giants have really exercised their tight end room or really tested them as much as I would have liked to have seen. I suspect that. I can't guarantee that. I would have liked to have seen what Bellinger had, but similar to what we were saying about, Hyatt earlier, and even more so. I mean, he was a 5th round pick, 6th round pick. It is what it is. But that was one dude I was kind of hoping would have balled out in the long run.
It'll be interesting because didn't they keep 4 tight ends last year, if I'm not mistaken?
So you had Bellinger, Theo, Manhurts, and
there's one other, wasn't there?
Tommy Yes, there was a 4th tight end, but I'm not sure he was active. He was like, I think they picked him up from Tampa Bay. What the heck is his name?
Well, there's nothing.
Do. Was it Sweeney? Tommy Sweeney?
Something like that. I don't remember. I thought they carried 4.
I do think you're right, though. There might have been 4.
So maybe Bellinger makes it as the 4th because they didn't bring some guys back. So Fedoni, Bellinger, Johnson, and Manhurts could be the 4. But you're right, Spartan. He might be on the bubble. It's a good pick.
I could see him being it, but
how about you, Sean? You got give me one player that's on the bubble.
Well, and not somebody I'm worried about, but somebody I would like to see not come back. Eric Gray.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth on that one. Why is that?
He hasn't done. And again, he's a late round draft pick, so it's not, you don't expect too much, but he hasn't really done anything at all. So, and his kick returns are, So maybe, Turbo Miller will come in and have an opportunity to now that he's, a year back into football after being a year removed, maybe he'll take that spot.
Okay. I could see that specifically. They tried to make him a kick returner and it wasn't happening. Hasn't even had any real flashes, has he? Just hasn't really gotten anything going.
Just that one preseason game, that was it.
Yeah. Drew's got a good point here too. That if I'm not mistaken, unless something's changed, isn't Turbo Miller still on a practice squad?
I think so.
So if Gray went, maybe it is Turbo time. You know what I mean? Like to see what he can do. I mean, even if he's playing special teams, but he's a good football player, right? I like to see him. I was gonna go, guys, with Bryce Ford Wheaton. I know Sean and I talked about this earlier. Like, I don't know where he fits. If you're looking at having Robinson, Slayton, Neighbors, and I don't know if any of those UDFAs make the team. Right, there was probably like 2 or 3 that had some potential. So for me, one of the offensive bubble players would be Bryce Ford Wheaton. I just don't know if there's a spot for him. I mean, Barton, how many wide receivers can we carry?
Well, what is it usually on the starting sideline? Generally 6, right? Not starting, but generally on game day 6. So you could definitely carry them, but I don't know. I mean, my imagination is, they're not going to give him more chances than he would normally deserve. And that was one of Truth's favorite players too. So kind of hope that guy would end up balling out.
Plus, they just signed Pascal too from the Cardinals as a receiver and a special teamer. So that could hurt BFW as well.
Yep, that's what Brad just said, that he's a pretty solid gunner. The only thing, Brad, is it's hard to keep a guy on a team that only exclusively plays special teams. Like, it's just hard to keep some of those guys. So the gunner would be great if he was like wide receiver 4 or 5, right? Maybe, get some reps here and there. Bryce Ford Wheaton was my guy. That was a bubble guy. Like I said, especially they brought in a ton of UDFAs. One of them being Dart's ex-teammate, Juice Wells.
Yep.
So that gunner opportunity is going to be wide open. Whoever wants to go down and knock the snot out of somebody, makes the team. So, all right. So Sean, you're with Gray. Bellinger,
Yep.
is Spartan. I'm going to go with Bryce Ford Wheaton. I'll have to ask the other guys on what they think. But any other player, Joker, you'd like to mention, Sean, about potential bubble? Could be on any offense or defensive side.
No, I can't. I can't think of any other guys right now. I mean, Bellinger was the other guy I was thinking about, so Spartan took that one. But yeah, nobody else I can really think about that would be bubble that's worthy anyway. Or
how about you, Spartan? You got one for me, like another guy that you think might be on the bubble?
The only reason I can see this happening is for cap situation, but we did see him in the picture, and they might be a little cautious to do this with for team related matters. But Singletary for the cap hit's sake, I could imagine doing it for that.
I think the dead cap hit though was heavy for him if we cut him, if I'm not mistaken.
Got it. I thought they saved $7 million, but I could be wrong.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up, because I thought that too, but then I thought I read something where it's the dead cap is a good amount.
For sure.
He could take a pay cut, right, and be like one of the like a third back.
I mean, I think Dable likes him too. He was with him in Buffalo. He's here, so he knows the offense.
What's Singletary's first name?
And they don't really have any other running backs. I don't think they could really replace him at this point, right?
Devin Singletary. Hang on. Again, if I was Singletary, I would be taking the pay cut to stick around and ride the wave.
Yeah.
Sports
I'd be surprised if we actually see any cap cut casualties. Even Nacho, I think, makes it because he helps the depth be better.
All right. So 2025, he turns 28 years old. Base salary is 4.7. Signing bonus was 1.2. Workout bonus is $250. His cap hit is $6.2 million, which goes for 2.2% of the overall cap.
Yeah.
The dead cap money is almost exactly the same. It's $6 million. So cap hit is 6.2. The dead cap is $6 million. Next year, the dead cap money is only 1.2. So unless he restructures and has a good year this year, he's gone next year anyway.
Yeah.
And by the way, that would be 29 years old. You don't see many 29-year-old running backs in the NFL anymore. Though Chubb did get signed today.
Yep.
Thanks, Brad. You beat me to it. Rob wants to know this. I'm going to send this one to you, Spartan. What do you think about it? Is Azudu safe? Rob wants to know.
No, I don't think he's safe at all. They have a bunch of veteran linemen. He hasn't shown much promise. He's not safe.
Sean, anything on Azudu?
The only way I think he makes it is if they keep him at guard. But if they keep him at tackle, then I don't think so. I know he's working now at tackle and guard because with guys out. But yeah, I think he probably gets cut. But if they use him at guard, I think he'll be okay at guard. It's just you got to keep him off tackle.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Welcome aboard. The way the Giants line is right now for bubble players, like, you know, you got Neal, you got Kubis, right? You got that other cat that they signed from I don't know, Minnesota or Tampa Bay. I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Aaron Stinney.
Yeah, it's Stinney from Tampa, and then
Yep.
JVR. Like I don't even know where Azudu fits.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'll say it again because I forget the guy's name. What was the guy's name we were talking about last week, Sean? That Azudu reminds me of from Connecticut, from UConn.
Oh, Matt Parrott.
It's like the same dude. It's like literally the same cat. Matt Peart is literally Azudu in another body.
Yeah, I think they just messed up with Azudu moving to the tackle. If they kept him at guard, because remember he was splitting time his rookie year with Bredesen as guard, and he did pretty well actually. So I think by moving to tackle, that's not his spot.
Fair enough. All right, Spark, we're going to turn this to you. What do you want to talk about? Give me the topic that's like been in your sights right now, like something on Twitter, something on Instagram, something on Facebook. Like what's burning in the Spartan world?
Yeah, here's what I really want to talk to you guys about. Offensive coordinator situation. So it sounds like they're going to go back to Kafka for calling the plays. What do you guys think about that?
Is that a known source? Like, is that something that's out there, or is that just something you saw, like, you know, buzzing, like a buzz, or someone reported?
Heavy buzz. I'd say heavy buzz. However, similar to last year, like they didn't confirm it until they got tore. Like I think it was pretty much a week beforehand when we found out that Dable would be calling the plays.
Okay, I'll kick that to you first, Sean.
You know, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I would be surprised if it does. I know Dable was calling plays, Tierney was calling plays in the huddle OTs too. I just wonder if they're doing it now to see something so Dable can focus on watching everybody right now because he's got a lot of young guys. He's got Dart out there. Again, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'd like to see Dable stay as play caller. Like I don't think he did anything bad as a play caller or as a head coach where the play calling was, you know, impacting what he was doing as head coach. And there's so many coaches out there now that call plays. So I'd like to see him be back. But again, if they change it, so be it. I don't have a problem with it. I'll support it. But my preference is Dable to continue to call plays.
I like it. I don't know, Spartan. It's a good question. Like, so you think year one Kafka, you know, goes okay. Year two Dable doesn't go okay. Like, I think it's kind of like an experiment, right? Can Dable and Kafka work together to get Russ what he needs?
Yeah, and I think that was kind of interesting if we think about it, though, the last couple of years, because like I think both proved like, hey, odds are one of these guys would be better than the other, and you know we've seen what Dable can do with a good quarterback. We haven't seen what Kafka could do with a good quarterback, but now we know like the offense was going to suck no matter what because of how bad the quarterbacks were, right? And so like we kind of got out like, well, maybe they can hand it back to Kafka or whatever. Like he wasn't at fault for why the offense sucked so bad.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do is see them work together, right? Can they coexist, right? Can they work together, right? You know, whether it's Kafka doing the installation during the week and Dable calling it. Maybe there's some back and forth between the two because finally they found some common ground because maybe Russ likes the way they both work, right? Like we've definitely had a yin and a yang. Oh, it's Kafka. Oh, it's Dable, right? Like, it felt different when Kafka's first year. It felt different when Dable started calling the plays. All of a sudden, everything there was more vertical. It was more aggressive, right?
I mean, year two that happened.
Yeah, sorry. I thought Kafka was just too conservative. Like it just was too conservative for us to win games. And if you're going to play Spartan, this packed, schedule of heavy hitters, right? I mean, every one of those teams are heavy hitters. Like, I don't know if you can run unless he's changed. I don't know if you could be conservative like the way Kafka is. I think some of these guys need to get punched in the mouth and just say, hey, you're not going to roll over the New York Giants anymore. You may need to score, right, to make that happen. So, I don't know. I'm not sure where I sit. I don't have a problem with Kafka. But if you're going to play these powerhouse teams, you're going to need more flash.
Yeah. The bottom line is like, look, whoever's calling the play, just please get this team's offense to 16th ranked in the NFL. Just get us to average so I can at least see it happen, please.
I mean, I would like to see a little, maybe Kafka have some influence in the red zone plays because coming from Kansas City, they were very creative in the red zone. But again, I think, I don't know. I mean, again, Dable was one of the top play callers. I know he had Josh Allen, but still, I mean, let's be realistic. He still was calling the plays and putting things out there. So I'm curious to see because I mean, Craig, we saw it live at the Dallas game. There was guys open. He had plays that were there to be made, and other games too. I just mean we were there watching that.
Yep.
And there was,
you're just waiting for Jones to pull the trigger, and he just never does. I don't think he'll have that problem with Russ. Russ sees it. Russ identifies it. Russ lets the ball go. Like you just,
this is all topic, but isn't it crazy to think about? Like with Jones, like his job was on the line at all times that last year, and he still never sling the ball. He didn't care.
I don't think Spartan, like I said, like I'm not. This is gonna, because people love to just jump on people when they say things. This is not, and I'll put this prelude in there. This is not a defense of Daniel Jones. I just think that the guy got his head beat in for 2 years, neck injury. Knee injury. I mean, the amount of 8-9 sacks a game. Like, I just think he was like just battered and bruised. And he was just like, I can't let this thing rip. I got to find a conservative way to win games. Right. Like, he's a nice guy. He's the guy that marries your daughter. Right. I mean, like he's not the gunslinger. He's not like, I told you, watching a lot of Dart, one of the issues that Dart has is if you've ever watched the movie Tin Cup, he is literally Tin Cup. Spartan, have you seen the movie Tin Cup?
I've not seen that movie.
All right, my goodness.
When we're off the pod, go watch Tin Cup.
It.
It's Kevin Costner. He's a golfer. And it gets to this one point where he's trying to hit the ball over the water onto this green. It's a massive shot. You'll love the movie because it's about golf. And I can't remember at the point in the movie, he's either like he's par or he's tied or like he's in it. And he hits like 9 balls. He's like, do it again. Tees it up. Hits it in the water. Do it again. Do it again. And they're like, that's why they call him Tim Cup. Like, so Dart has a lot of that in him. He's like, I throw those small little windows that got picked. I'm coming right back and I'm throwing that small window. And then he got picked again against Florida. And he's like, I'm throwing that small window again. The NFL's got to coach that out of him. Right? Got to coach that out of Dart. Jones just didn't have the switch to flip. Nope. Just wasn't there.
Yeah, no.
It's like, when you see those poor dogs who get beat, like they got nothing left in them. They cower.
The problem is, I know that's not funny, but like I imagine that commercial that you're talking about with that music playing as they show all
the sad dogs.
Yeah.
As you're just trying to watch the Giants lose by 24, and you got to watch that too. Anyway.
Yeah. Tin Cup, good movie. I know you're a golfer, so you'll You'll enjoy it. And again, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't know, Spartan. But at the end of the day, the dude just got badgered to death, and he just couldn't pull the trigger. It's not like I'm sure he looked at it and was like, "Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure."
Yeah.
So
It's a flea flicker. I don't know if I can really throw it to one
dude,
of the
that
two
was the
open
one
guys.
that did it for me.
Oh man, he couldn't execute on those screen routes. It was
Dude,
bad.
no,
It's like everything.
no, it
He's
was a
just
flea flicker, Spartan.
I do wonder if he went to bed in like last offseason, like, you know what? I secured the bag. Maybe we just this is gonna be a bad year. Maybe we just ride it off in the sunset. It is what it is. Don't get my head crushed. We'll be fine.
Yeah, well.
Hey, crypto, no, hold up. I was 14 years old when the Giants had that 2010 offensive line. That was one of the best in the NFL. They actually regressed a little bit when they won the Super Bowl, but then they just after that just completely fell off. Just point of clarification.
How about you, Sean? What's your hot topic that's burning in you that you want to throw out there to the folks?
I think I kind of already mentioned it earlier. Like, let's just enjoy what we have going on right now. We'll see if it translates on the field, but I just like what they're doing. Guys are excited. Players are excited. This is what I'm bring up. The treasure chest, which I have renamed the booty chest, is going to be a hot topic now because people complaining and saying all this stuff. Well, it's listen. It's not the treasure chest or the booty chest as I'm calling it now, because pirates with booties, we get it. So it's what it represents. I'm gonna say this again. It's not the chest itself. It is what it represents. How many Giants fans complained last year, including you, King, about we didn't turn the ball over, right? We didn't get turnovers, right?
Yep.
So what are they emphasizing this offseason? Getting the turnovers.
Rushing DBs.
And getting the turnovers. So the treasure chest is about they're emphasizing creating the booty chest. Thank you, Spartan. The booty chest. We're making that. It's a New York Giants Rush exclusive right now.
We call it the booty box.
Wow, maybe. I don't know.
The box of booty.
Hey, whatever it is, but it's just again, it's the concept behind it. They're emphasizing getting the turnovers, and that's what I like to see. And the guys are buying in. That's all that matters. If the guys weren't buying in, then they wouldn't be doing it. The team is buying in, the defense is buying in, and there's an emphasis. So I want to focus on that. But people are like, oh, it's a treasure chest. It's stupid. We're not the Buccaneers. We're not the blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. It's the
as long as we're using it, right? The last thing you want is that thing to sit there on the bench for weeks on end and compliments to collect.
Dude, look, if they're having fun, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah,
like
that's what we can't have fun.
So
I know.
Whining. Yeah, like just like you gotta.
They're acting like a bunch of millennials.
Seriously, that's why I can't wait till Spartan turns 30. We're throwing him this big.
He's still going to be a millennial even when he turns 30.
Yeah, but Spartan's a little bit of an old soul for 29, right?
He is. I will give him that.
But then sometimes he goes on these rants, and you're like, "Oh, come on, Spartan! You're falling prey to your peers. Don't let it happen." Like sometimes you just got to be like, "Look, all right, let's all just stop bitching. We got a great draft and a great free agency, and we got a core." I'm the first guy to say I was freaking out when they didn't sign.
We need the balance of generations on this show. All right, we definitely do. You guys have to tell me about the movie Tin Cup. And I have to tell you guys that you can't fall victim to these scams on the internet anymore. We help each other out.
And you're right, Cole. Spartan is a malcontent mush.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. No.
Oh, good God.
That's like going to go into the comment Hall of Fame right there. Especially when we started calling him mush. That was just fantastic.
That was great.
Housekeeping wise, guys, you might be new to the show. We will bring back the fantasy Rush Fantasy Football run by Spartan Mike. That will kick off in July or early August. We'll get that going. If we have enough of you guys, we do 2 leagues, a $50 league and a $25 league. If we only have 1 league, it'll be a $35 league, and it'll go to 14 teams, something like that. We give away autographed jerseys. So far, we've given away a Monty Toomer and a Hakeem Nicks jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I I do have some jerseys in house of like OJ Anderson, I think, and I might have another one. But so we do give away some cool prizes there. I suck, which we know. I still owe Lolo and Stretch their stuff.
Stretch.
It's like a weird size for a box, like the bobblehead.
You're making me look bad, Craig. You're making me look bad.
Dude, you always look bad. So like, don't worry about that. So I tried to put it in a bag, but it's too wide, so it like ripped the bag. So I got to find a small box or something for the bobblehead.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
we got coming up. We'll probably.
I may.
Oh,
sorry.
I may. No, I was gonna like do drum roll for you.
Yeah. So I may go to the Commanders week 1, the Giants Commanders game week 1. I have family that lives in that area, so we're maybe trying to make a family thing out of going to that game. So
look at that, coming to town, dude. I like it.
Yep. So I may be in in Washington for that. Well, it's not actually technically in Washington anymore, right? But
Virginia, yeah.
It's a good shot that I will be at the game with Papa Joker and Sis and my little nephew and maybe my brother-in-law.
All right. 6 freaking invites, Sean.
If you do go to that game, I will, I'll make the trip because it's not that far from me.
Okay.
If you give me the heads up that you're going to do that, we'll make that trip. So we do have that coming up. We got we will do, of course, working on interviews like we always try. We will be in the parking lot. Chris and I in our parking lot. Spartan makes an appearance once a year. Joker makes an appearance once a year. Trying to think what other housekeeping stuff. I will have Kessler Jr. writing some articles on nygiantsrush.com. He's really good with that. Michael Coughlin's already barking that he won his. Let me throw this up there because Carter Coughlin, Tom Coughlin's cousin, where did it go? He just bragged about winning his league or something. So
yeah, I'll put it up. Oh, you got it?
Okay, throw it up there if you find it.
Yeah, I got it.
There it is. Yeah, thanks for that, Coughlin. But he won his league. So listen, you're just gonna have to wait a couple months and come back and play for Rush Fantasy. Spartan's always in it, but he choked at the end of the year last year. Didn't come through.
Well, we don't want me to be too good again, right, Craig? Didn't we run into that issue in the past, right? I was so good that
Spartan does this crazy thing where he wins all the way to like week 15, and then he finally like loses 2 games and he's out. But the entire year, you're like, dude, Spartan, you can't beat the fans, and he's like, I'm not doing anything. So, but we will have that coming back. Definitely. What's that, Sean?
It's pronounced Coughlin, like from Cocktail. Coughlin's Rules.
Oh wait, did he throw that in there? That's Coughlin.
Yeah, pronounced.
Oh, Coughlin.
Coughlin.
Man, you need to change the spelling of your name, dude, because that says Coughlin.
It does.
Pronounced. All right, no problem, Mr. Coughlin. We will make sure we make note of that. But we do appreciate you hanging out with us for Giants Rush. All right, we're wrapping this sucker up. So tonight's we go too long. We start talking and going crazy. He's Irish. He says I'm Irish. Yeah, I'm half Irish and I'm half Italian. I just have a bad temper and I drink too much. But on that note, that's Spartan Mike. Please follow him. That's Joker Rush. Please follow him. And the biggest thing for us is, and I think Craig said it a while ago, I don't know if Craig's still in the house, is, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Guys like Drew will tell you, guys like Tim will tell you, subscriptions go a long way. So, just hit the like button, the subscribe button, throw in some comments down the bottom if you want. I usually check the YouTube stuff, so it's usually me. But all the guys here, thank you for following them. Guys, we're gonna wrap this up nice and neat. We talked Hyatt, Russ, we talked vibes, we talked kicker, we talked bubble players. And I'm looking at the notes, and the only thing that we really didn't talk about was if Tiki Barber's a Hall of Famer. We're gonna keep that for next week's topics, and because that can be a whole show amongst itself. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. You guys are the best.
Yes.
We will see you next week, and I'm gonna end the show with a little bit of graphics, which will be appropriate for this time of year if I can find it. Peace out, people.